I want to also now explore the concept of the inner and our inner world, or our inner environment. And to me, this is a crucial thing that we need to start to understand or develop. And this is because we are very conditioned people. I mean, we're really connected to everybody else. And so I feel often that we're often influenced by our, obviously, by our conditioning, by our environment, by other people. And so how do we start to understand or listen to who we might be? Or how do we actually begin to discover that we have an inner and an inner environment? And this is terribly important for me, because even, as a healer for many years, this is what I've most wanted to do for people, is to begin for them to start to access their own knowing. And this meant that they didn't need to be dependent on a healer or a clairvoyant or somebody who's just going to tell them how to be in their lives. And so a lot of the work of developing your inner is listening to yourself, listening to who you might be, and then slowly beginning to trust what you see or what you feel, or even start to feel courageous enough to make those mistakes, and almost a pathway of mistakes, in fact, as you start to get the feel of how you receive things, or how you picture things, or what things are going to happen, or what's important to do, or where do you give your energies. And so for me, the development of the inner is perhaps one of the biggest values that I want to offer here. And this is why I love the essences, because they invite us again to develop that inner knowing. They help us to start to become aware of how we're actually influenced, or all of these amazing relationships that actually, where we have to suddenly stand up and go, I feel really uncomfortable about this, or I'm not sure about that, or oh, I'm seeing that this pattern here that I do, where I'm always feeling that I have to know everything, when in fact the truth is maybe we're just living in an incredible uncertainty, or an incredible unknowing place. And so the inner becomes eventually, as you really develop that listening, it becomes your keel, it becomes the way you can go through life. And you realize that also the inner has ethics, and that to me is really, really exciting. And we know when we've gone off. We know it. There's a funny feeling. We're really uncomfortable. We're not quite it. And it's a different discomfort when we're in the inner and someone's, say, lying to us, or someone's taking us for a ride. Now that has a different energy of discomfort. And so a lot of training of the inner is starting to experience those feelings, that intuition, that training of the intuition within oneself. So part of my work and my love of the essences is really supporting the journey of listening to the inner and the development of the inner. And everybody has different ways of perceiving how the inner, shows up. It's really, really different. So for some people, there'll be a really strong words that might come up, or some people are very visionary, and some people just get an odd feeling. And also, when you think about our energy centers, those energy centers also respond differently. So some people have a very strong heart center, and so it's really, they get very clear messages within their heart. But other people are really strong in their solar plexus, and what happens for them in the solar plexus. So you can see also that the listening of the inner is training us to understand our uniqueness as well. And through that process, of the training of the inner is to slowly see that there is within us, naturally all of us, a desire from the inner to express the inner. And that is really exciting. And if we were able to start to understand how we do that, and even to be able to give space to how to do that, is again part of that training. And I just sort of talked before about introducing concepts of ritual, and it's also to understand that a ritual can also give space to expression of the inner. And so that might be that you set up a space, so you can actually, ritually through physical form, you put stones down to create a circle. And the sense of a ritual of giving space to stand inside that circle and let that circle represent the understanding of the inner environment. And to then stand there and say, this is my inner environment, and over there is an external environment, so how can I be when there is a challenge or a problem for me when I meet that? And so, yeah, those are simple processes of practice that eventually become natural for you to start to see that you can actually listen to how you can be in all of those external processes. So we have a lot of bird life here, so and I think there's a little bit of bird life running across the roof, and that's a beautiful place to be here in this garden with these birds, and that's an external environment that can also be a beautiful thing for the inner as well. So you can see how environment influences the inner, and then when there's tough environments, or when you're in a group of people where there's a lot of fear, for example, how do you be in there and stay true to your inner, true to what is inside? Now this understanding of inner is really interesting because it can be like a combination of what we call the soul, and the soul has gone through, you could say, many lifetimes, and also of spirit, the sort of moving, alive energy that also connects us to source, or great spirit, or in some cultures God, the understanding of God. And so the inner has this incredible knowing, because it's come through, also it has been with us, it's connected to soul, but it's connected to spirit. And this inner world can, through our physical form, we can also understand how our personality is, which is utterly unique in this physical form. This physical form, in this very small lifespan that we live, is so amazing, because it's also an expression, you could say, of our inner as well. And also, obviously, all the external forces that happen when our inner meets that. And then we've got our ancestors, we've got all of these things, but the inner, as we think of it, as the soul and the spirit. So for me, in this journey of evolution, really, evolution of the soul, is to practice understanding and listening to our inner.